Hey, 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 and welcome everybody. Welcome to Legion's Ladies Live. Welcome, Jason. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. We are missing Amber today. She is not feeling well, so she is not here. So she is definitely going to be missed. But we are so excited that we have Jason with us tonight. And Jason, like, you got series one out, lots of waves going. You
hmm
got series two cooking,
Right.
and you know, how's it going? Like in
Uh,
general, how's it going?
it's going good. It's taking obviously longer than we had hoped to get Series 2 delivered. Uh, but in hindsight, I'm willing to admit that I don't know every in and out about action figure design, and we asked the factory to do their most challenging, the figure that's most challenging to them. We asked them to do that first, so it caused like a real bottleneck, and then of course all the stuff with like the tariffs and all that, but like not talking about that, like on our end, uh the brawler wave, which is like the big beefier guys, was really challenging for the factory to like dial all the tooling and everything in. So but they were going to start right before the Chinese New Year, which but because it's a lot of different SKUs, they didn't want to rush it. So they're going to knock it out like right after the Chinese New Year, and then hopefully we'll have some stuff for everyone in the spring. That's the plan
Okay,
right now. Yeah.
awesome. So I know that you have a few in there that I am really looking forward
Oh,
to.
cool.
So we are super excited. We're going to get into all of that ins and outs and all the
Okay.
stuff about all the different things that you guys have done and all where you started and where you came from.
Okay.
But let's first see who all's here. We have Jeff Evans. Hey and howdy. We have Brian Carr. Hey, Brian. We have Freaks Figures. Hello and welcome. We have James Studio Samudio. Too bad Curtis isn't here to do that one for us. We have Twizzler19. How are you doing, Twizzler? We have Curtis Ackerman. Hello, Curtis. We have Kevin McCoy. Hi, honey. L Spooky Zorro, that's Rob. Hey Rob, how's it going? Michael Morales is here. Hello. Jesse Marshall is here. Hey Jesse. Hey to Stacy as well. Give her our love. We have V Dog. Hello, how are you? Darla Ackerman, we know her. Hey Darla. Jen Lucky Sprinkles. Hi Jen. Oh, Amber, we miss you. Thank you so much. We have I am TJ Williams. How you doing? We have the Purple Gang here. Hello. We have Nate Bart. Hi, Nate. Welcome. We have PGG Papa Van. Hello, Van. We have Cloud. Welcome, Cloud. Can we get an AWOC wave where all the characters are smoking black?
You get one.
He's doing one.
Yeah.
Van said he'd buy that.
I'd buy that for
and
$1. I
and
didn't get it. I
freaks.
didn't get my mullet back yet.
Yeah.
It should be back this summer. I'm growing it back out.
There you go. There you go. Oh, what fun. Okay, well, welcome everybody. We are so excited to have everybody with us. As you can tell, Amber's not here, so Tanya has no way to share her screen. So we have passed that on to Kevin. Let's just everybody say a little prayer that everything goes smoothly today. We're going to do the best we can. That's all we can do. But we're super excited to have Kevin. And And thank you, honey, for doing that for us. We're super excited. So let's get into some news first. Um, Kevin, do you want to go down to the wave that they just announced? Yep. So the Cosmic Legion's character packs were revealed. Curtis, trust me,
Uh,
we're giving it to Kevin tonight and see how he does. So far, we're doing good. And Ty, hi, welcome. So we have the character packs are here, and I am so excited about the character packs. This was the new wave reveal that Four Horsemen did. Just let me know in the comments. Did you go all in? Did you get them all? Did you pick and choose? Because since there wasn't really an all in option here, what did you get? Of course, I am super excited about the engineer, and so I had to get a couple of her. But there was some great head packs and accessory packs that were revealed, and I just wanted to know what you guys picked up in the chat. All right, Kevin, go out and let's go up to let's go to the figure. Yeah, there you go.
this one's killing me. Like, I hope they have some extra ones left over because I'm not going to be able to make it to that show.
Well, they're not going to have extra. Well, they may have extras left over for the show because it has the extra head
Yeah.
that's only going to be available at the show.
Oh, I see.
The only difference that's going to be as far as what's going to be available at the show is that extra head.
Oh, okay. Which head's the extra one? Is it
the extra one is
that
the short bearded one
Man.
is going to be the extra
Dang.
one.
Oh,
So
it's gonna drive me nuts.
I know that one is going to be that's
It's
that's
part of the
the,
fun though.
yeah. If they don't have any extras available, then but they will release this through Four Horsemen at a later date. So
Okay,
you'll be
cool.
able to pick it up
Nice.
at a later date. It just
Okay.
won't be
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, this is
That's
fantastic.
such a
Like
good exclusive. Like, it's really cool.
it really is. Such a great character. The Highlander, is that what his name is?
I don't learn any of the
The
names.
Highlands
I just
Warrior.
give them my own names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Highlands Warrior. And he's fantastic. I love this.
So cool.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So anybody going to ToyCon New Jersey, Tanya needs one of these. Like, this is a need, not a want. It's a need.
The Highlander.
Yeah. The Highland Warrior. MJ, snow. Yeah, I just saw that we're supposed to get snow here in North Carolina as well. Crazy.
I want snow. We got snow last year. I was super surprised.
Brian Carr said, "Hey, Jason, I can grab one for you."
Oh, that'd be awesome, dude. Thank you. Oh, cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
I like how they are getting one for you, and they just don't, say, "Hey, Tanya, I got you covered."
Brian, are you going to ZoloCon?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, are you going to ZoloCon?
Yeah, we'll be at ZoloCon. That'll be our first show of the season. So,
gotcha. Okay,
it'll be fun. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and all right. So Kevin, go out of this. So this is ToyCon New Jersey. You cannot get it at the Four Horsemen booth. You can only get it from ToyCon New Jersey. All right, Kevin, the next slide. No.
Cool. Yeah, I'll meet you there.
That one, yeah. No, the next one over, baby.
The red night.
Yeah. This weekend.
Cool. Is that an exclusive too?
So no, this is actually going to be one of the figures that's going to be released with the RPG game
Oh, I
when the
got you.
Kickstarter goes live
Cool.
in February.
Awesome.
So this is going to be one of the figures that they're going to have in that Kickstarter.
Cool.
But they are in Philadelphia area at the Gaming Expo, and it's today.
That's today. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Um, and uh,
That is a hardcore gaming expo, like Thursday night. Holy crap.
yeah, and I did not get that photo downloaded from the. Uh, I know Curtis sent it to me. Hang on, let me see if I can grab it
Curtis
real
has it.
quick. Curtis, send it to Kevin. Send that photo that you sent to me to Kevin. Text it to him. It'll take me too long. If you can text that to Kevin real quick, he can pull it up for me. And then we have the information from today on shipping. So the retailer wave is going live on February 18th. That's the street date.
That's an awesome wave. It looks so good.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
excited about the head packs too. I just realized I wasn't saying it in my out loud. I was just like, yeah, that's cool. I like that. I really like the swappable faces, especially
Yes,
like as far as like design wise, like
right.
it's something that I was kind of like geeking out in my head about.
Yeah. And they're amazing because like the female swappable head is compatible with
Oh,
all of the rest of the swappable
oh, I
heads
didn't know
is
that.
my
That's so cool.
understanding. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really, really great. I am super excited. And they announced, at GCon, they announced the new Delphina
Oh, cool.
with the faceplate.
Yeah.
That's going to be a new 2.0, so new female buck or the
Oh,
elf
cool.
buck, that is going to be very much like their Valiant Knight, which was the one with the more articulation, better movement, all that
Yeah.
stuff. So they have done that. Um, they have created it so that they'll now have the Valiant Knight in female form as a 2.0 buck. So they can change that, to a male buck as well, and it'll be a new knight for elves and stuff like that as well. But yeah, so the retailer wave, February 18th. The shipping begins early February for the Rising Suns wave, which I know we have waited a little bit longer for that, but come on, we got a freaking bear, people. We got a bear.
Yeah, they got two steeds in that. That's pretty awesome.
Yes. So we
That's
got a
that's
bear
a
and the
fat weight.
unicorn. Yeah, it is stacked, man. I am so excited for this one. We got two 1.0 females. We got a 1.0 female like Viking and 1.0 female dwarf, which is fantastic. I'm so excited to get the 1.0 females. But there's so much goodness in that and so much stuff. I mean, what they released with that wave and all the accessories and stuff they put in each one of those was crazy. And then Cosmic Legions, the new Ox Crew wave is expected late March. Infinite Legions is also expected late March. So we're going to get the those Faden and Thanos. And then Kevin, the next slide is the Ashes of Agbendor, Graveyard, and the legend, the Mythic Legions Legacies that they had a certain amount of, and then if you wanted to order more, you could
That's
pre-order
good because
all
I
of
didn't get to get
those.
those. I didn't get to
Yeah.
get like I thought I was gonna get them at Legion's Con, so I was just kind of like, oh, what the hell? That
So
Ashes
all
of is amazing wave too.
yes, yes.
So
Ashes
good.
of Agbendor is another wave that is going to be fantastic because you've got the dark genie, you've also got
I like the
the dark,
the centaur. Yeah.
yeah, dark centaur. Um yeah, and the new Aza Spirit Bender, which everybody is super excited about. She is going to be fantastic. So lots of really good stuff in this that wave as well. I think that's the one with Kaipacha too. The yeah, so much goodness in that one. And then I don't know if you saw the graveyard zombies and colorful skeletons that they did, but the zombies are like, because they're, graveyard is not really, you
Super
know,
bright.
based in mythics. It's just like an
Yeah, yeah. It's
extra
just like a
thing that they're
fun
doing.
extra. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the clothes that they gave to the zombies are like current clothes.
Yeah, I see that. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's like oh, what's that movie? I had never watched Return of the Living Dead 2 until last year, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I can't believe I never watched it because I do like zombie movies. And I was like, then I
Right.
went on this huge George A. Romero kick. Like, I was
Right.
like, holy crap. But I was like, wait a second. These are two different directors. And like I realized it, but like it made me want to watch some of the older zombie stuff. Like my intro was like Shaun of the Dead and then like current stuff, you know.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of things that are supposed to hit quarter two, you know, maybe get on the water in quarter two and get out to you guys, all of us quarter three. But we have lots of stuff coming that this year is going to be stacked with great
Yeah,
stuff.
that's a
And
lot of
then,
stuff. That's wild.
yeah. And Bayethir, they're hoping to ship by the end of the year, but come on. I don't know if that is going
I
to happen
mean,
or not.
the
But
engineering alone on that thing is really challenging. Like,
I know. I
I'm
can't
okay with
imagine.
waiting for it. Like, let them, give them the time to get it done. The, we
Right.
want it to be the best it can be. So, and it's
Right.
fun,
Yeah.
like waiting for that type of stuff. It's like that's like a grail. I don't want to call it a figure because it's so much more than a figure. It's like a set piece that's like articulated and then all the extra figures that come with it are so cool as well. It's like I don't know. I'm okay with
Yeah.
waiting.
I am okay with waiting. The big thing that I have noticed, like one of the first figures that I fell in love with Mythic Legions was the moose. And
Mm.
I have the moose out and he is set up, and I have noticed that sometimes in the summertime it may get a little warm in my house, and so I noticed that the horns of the moose kind of droop
You're
sometimes,
preaching
and
to the
I'm like,
choir. I'm in
yeah,
Louisiana, so it's kind of like, uh,
yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like, I wonder when they're gonna start falling over. But the
right,
stands are like, I mean, like obviously it doesn't go with the steeds, but like the stands are great. Like they keep them from like
yeah,
literally falling over. So yeah,
falling, yeah.
I agree with Trevor. Let's see.
We all need more more time to make room, exactly. Um, but anyway, so that I really want the wings to be something that stand up to time. At this point, I'm gonna have to hang it from the ceiling, so I need the wings to
That's a
really.
real challenge. Like I've talked to several people about how they're gonna display it, and my buddy Chris was like, I bought a custom uh podium for it, and I was like, that's pretty smart because that way you don't have to like try to figure out like, is this going to be like a permanent coffee table thing, or
Right.
like, is this going to be like taking up like half of my desk? What are we doing here? So
I know. I don't know. I don't know if you heard or if you saw, but Robo, we were together when talking about it when they announced this, and
yeah,
Robo told his wife about it, and his wife said, "Oh, we're going to put it on the dining room table."
it's hilarious. She's
I'm
way too
like,
good a sport.
okay, there you go.
There's who's that? How do you say her name? Or his name? Mythic Mesodam?
Miss
I can't
Down.
read.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean that comment's a great comment. I mean, like I obviously idolized them and you know grew up loving Four Horsemen, so it's a real honor and it makes me feel great, you know. So
Yeah,
I really do appreciate it.
yeah, that's yeah. It's we're excited to get into all of that. So that's kind of the news that we've got. Kevin, did Curtis send you that photo? Can you show that photo? You're gonna have to change it into a PDF, I believe, hun. Or you can bring it up on your screen and share your screen, maybe. Um, there it is. So
Oh wow, yeah.
this is the new elf that they have been talking about, and he is going to be part of the RPG campaign. Um, yeah, he is fan freaking tastic.
He looks so cool. And they showed it already, right? Did they show it on Instagram?
So they showed a render of it. It
Okay.
wasn't the actual figure, and it wasn't painted.
It's weird because we
Um,
get so much information that like sometimes I don't remember if I like imagined it or
right.
or if
Yeah.
it was actually shown or if like someone sent me an image or what, you know?
Yeah. Um, but yeah, but they
Madame.
showed the render of it, but they didn't show it fully painted. This is the first time we've
Got
seen
it.
it fully painted.
I
So,
think
and you had
another
to be there.
paying attention to the harness and like I really like the way um those throwing daggers, you know.
Right.
Our bird figure has something a similar harness to it, and I was like, yeah, it's such a fun way to like display accessories, and it's functional, you know.
Right. And I love being able to have a lot of the accessories on the figures. So many times you
Yeah, we'll
have
talk
so
about
many
that.
accessories that are in
Right,
bags or whatever. And so
right.
to be able to have functional things to allow you to show the accessories are pretty
Yeah,
amazing.
it's
Um,
funny. I'm reading Nathan's comments, and like I feel
yeah.
bad because I'm French, but I don't speak French. I'm like,
Yeah.
duh, madame, of course. Oh my god, it's so funny. Uh, we're not going to be at the Pelican Center. I'm not sure what's going on at the Pelican Center in April. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. I shouldn't. I'm just showing off that I can actually read in real life.
Yeah. And Kevin made the comment, I wonder if the ears come off with the hair. That's a good question, Kevin.
That's actually a
Yeah.
really good question.
Yeah. All right. So let's bring that down and we will get to talking and learn more about Jason. Kevin, can you? Yeah, there you go. All right. So, Jason, you are in Louisiana now, but where did
I
you grow
am.
up?
I grew up in Louisiana, um, and when I was little, we'd travel a lot, and I learned early on that our flavor palette was a lot different than the rest of the country, especially
Yeah.
like when we'd go eat at diners and stuff. And we've got family from Wyoming, so like we'd go to Wyoming, and it was like noticeably blander, and I was like, "This is good, but it's different." So uh, it was nice to see that this area is really known for the food, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we love Louisiana. We love going in.
I love it, but it's so hot most of the time. It's a very tropical environment, you know.
Right. Yeah, it is. Um, what is one of the like one of your favorite things other than the food that you loved about growing up in Louisiana?
Um, I don't know if it was particularly the location, but I think the time that I grew up in, it was like I like to jokingly say like we're the last untethered generation to grow up with like, oh hey, don't come home until the lights are on and drinking out of the hose and everything. And uh, because like we were in like a rural area, there was like a lot of like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars reenactments while we were out on adventures and stuff, and Masters of the Universe reenactments. And uh, I used to just love like playing outdoors, really, you
Yeah,
know. So I think that's probably the thing about Louisiana that I enjoyed the most.
that's awesome. So, if you had one thing that you really did not like about growing up, what would you say it was?
I would say the humidity. was just like really oppressive. And you're in the South too, so you've got a little bit of it, but it's like, growing up in the 80s, like getting into like those big giant cars with the like hot vinyl seats
I know.
was just like, oh, this is like an exercise in torture because it's like short shorts in the 80s with like scorching hot cars, and you're
Yes.
in it was also like a crapshoot if you left your action figures in the car. You're
In the
like,
car.
oh my god, this thing's like drooping and falling apart. I hope it's like gonna go back to normal. I would say it was that, like just the oppressive heat.
I know exactly what you were talking
Yeah,
about. Wear shorts at your own risk and get into a
especially
hot car
those
with
short
vinyl
shorts.
seats.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I remember taking a towel with me all the time. Like once I realized that I could,
I
take
didn't
stuff,
think
I
that
would
far
take a
ahead. I
towel.
was
Yeah.
I was just kind of like whatever. So I grew up in central Louisiana, which is like stereotypical Acadian Cajun culture. It's funny because like people get New Orleans Creole culture mixed up with Cajun, and it's got similarities, but it is very different. Like one of my buddies from New Orleans came down, or up, I should say, and I made a gumbo and a brown roux, and he's like, "Damn it, this is so much better than a red roux." And I'm like, "Thank you, exactly. This is what you've been missing." But yeah, it's in central Louisiana, and it's very much a hub. So like in order to get to New Orleans or Houston, you have to pass through Lafayette. So we've
Yeah.
got fantastic Creole food here. We've got great Mexican food. And because we're in a university, there's actually really great Asian cuisines. Like we've got two really, it's funny, it's a Thai restaurant that started as one, but like the family split. So like now there's this rivalry. And there's a great Indian restaurant and just a bunch of really fun food. If you're a foodie, this area is such a great area to come and kind of sample everything.
Right. Yeah. So Lafayette, is that LSU?
Lafayette is UL. It's UL at Lafayette. So it's the University of Louisiana at Lafayette.
At
When I
Lafayette.
was there,
Gotcha.
it was just the University of Louisiana, and they were like, you know what this needs? This needs a good rebranding. Like no one asked for it, but let's go ahead and like spend $12 million on this ridiculousness and confuse
Right.
everyone. Yes, Raging Cajuns. Yes.
Yeah. So I grew up the street that I grew up on was Lafayette.
Oh, okay. That's another thing. So because it's a university town, we'll
Yeah.
get people come in and they say it's pronounced Lafayette, and we're like, we understand that, but the locals call it Lafayette. Lafayette is how they would say
Lafayette.
it's pronounced Lafayette, but
Lafayette.
we say Lafayette because we're
Lafayette.
Cajun and
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
we're like
Lafayette.
Cajun hillbillies.
That's funny. Um yeah, great area. We like I said, Kevin and I both love Louisiana, so it is a lot of fun down there. We enjoy visiting for sure. But you're right. Humidity,
Yeah.
hot, um, but the food is
Y'all should come down
unmatched.
for the Festival International. I don't know if y'all ever done that before, but it's fantastic. It's got
Is it?
artists from literally all over the world.
Oh
And
wow,
I think it's a 4 to 5 day festival. I can't remember.
that's fantastic. Um,
That's funny. I don't know anyone with the last name Remy. Uh,
First name
and there's not
Remy.
a lot of LeBeaus, but there's a lot of LeBuffs and Thibodeaux. And there's actually not a lot of Bienvenus, which is like more of a French name. So like Adam and Arlen are in Canada. Like I'm more French Canadian, but like grew up here, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it and like there's a big French area down there too, because I mean, even
Yeah, for sure.
in Louisiana, the French
Right.
Quarter. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very French central. So yeah, it doesn't
Right.
surprise me that you have
Yeah.
a very French name. Um,
That checks
have a friend.
out.
Yeah.
So Thibodeau's like, I think Thibodeau's to the south of us. I think it would have to be. Yeah. And so that's pronounced Thibodeau.
Yeah.
That's how like a normal person would pronounce it. But from my area, they say Thibodeau. It's from Thibodeau.
Thibodeau. Oh, that's funny.
It sounds like tippy toe.
Yeah, tippy
Tippy
toe.
toe.
Yeah, Thibodeau.
And
Um,
Nolans is correct. Yeah, that's
Nolans.
how.
Yeah.
Uh, what's funny is like people from New Orleans, like actual native New Orleans, have a. It's almost a Massachusetts accent, uh, and there's a reason why. I just don't remember what it is.
Oh, that's funny. So, growing up in the 80s,
Mhm.
obviously, what, like, your, like, cartoons, what you watched, your shows and stuff, like, what kind of directed you to, what shows did you watch that really interested you and kind of built your love for all things toys?
I mean, I was an only child, and like you said, it was in the '80s, so there wasn't the internet to kind of like
Right.
I want to say like almost hobble your imagination.
Yeah.
And Masters of the Universe was like airing while I was a kid. Excuse me. So like it was revolutionary. We didn't realize that it was like, this syndicated cartoon, but I would remember coming home and watching Masters of the Universe and Transformers and G.I. Joe and a little bit of Voltron and just really enjoying all that. And just we had like I had a really great collection of Masters of the Universe figures and would play with those and then Thundercats came out and that was a big deal. That was like I don't know what was so appealing about it. I think the characters like were really drawn to the characters and then the glowing eyes was like something about it was so magical. And I remember my mom being like, "That's the devil," and I was like, "No, it's a toy that's eyes light up." So I just remember there was like this big campaign of like, it was probably like maybe like 2 months of like wanting to get a Thundercat, and I think because it was like a difficult to like convince my mom to get it, that I just really just loved the Thundercat. I got Lino first, and I think I only had three of them: Lino, Mumra, and Monkey. And those are the ones that I really remember. And like they were just like the bee's knees. Like I just absolutely loved them and had them fight my Masters of the Universe figures. And yeah, and another thing is that I would just build my own playverse with them, where like I would use Duke as Luke Skywalker and so on. So I wasn't super attached to like the mythos of all of the cartoon canon or the comic book canons of the story. I really enjoyed making my own versions of and own stories.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really cool and probably has a lot to do with, you being able to create your own characters and your own stories and your own comics and all of that stuff
Yeah.
now.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, it's something that like it didn't happen overnight. Like I was talking to one of my friends and he was like, "Man, it's so cool that you got this toy line and everything going." And I said, "Yeah, it only took 11 years from when I started being interested in wanting to do it."
yeah. Now, growing up, um, do you have siblings?
No, I'm actually an only child, so
Are you? Okay. Well,
yeah, so
that's,
it was like a lot of like in my head having adventures and
yeah,
stuff. But I had cousins that were like very close. They were like considered siblings.
right,
But like there was like a lot of like time to myself at home, like thinking up adventures and stuff and keeping myself entertained.
right. And then when you were outside, there were kids in and
Yeah,
around where you
I
were for
would
you
go to
to,
my friend's neighborhood and he had like a great little adventure. Our neighborhood was really good too. There was a couple of kids there, but his neighborhood was preferable. This is so gross, but like they had this connection of sewer drainage ditches that we called the coulee. And if you took, obviously not walking in the water, but like it was this big ditch with like a 4 foot ledge on each side. And the kids all figured out that it wasn't necessarily accessible to the adults. So like we would use all that to get everyone's house and have all these little adventures. And I remember one of my friends had this like semi-permanent Castle Grayskull location, like in like this like kind of dirt area that like we would go and venture out, and it's like all the kids we didn't have to necessarily worry about them taking the
right.
Castle Grayskull and the other bases. We would
Yeah.
just bring our toys and then leave the bases and then bring them back and forth and everything. So
Yeah, it was a different time. You just
it
left
really
stuff
was.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Right.
really was.
Yeah.
um yeah, in our neighborhood we had a, like you said, a drainage ditch or sewer ditch or whatever, and
Yeah.
you would walk through that to go to somebody else's, yeah,
We had,
neighborhood.
there was like a couple of like, I can't remember if they were like dirt bridges or they can't, that doesn't make sense. I think there was like some steel grates or even like even pipes or something that we would use to cross. So
Right.
and some
Yeah.
areas weren't like very, none of it was deep.
No.
Maybe like
Never.
4 inches of water or something like that. So we could hop across it if we
Yeah.
needed to.
Yeah. No, it was always very, very shallow.
For sure, yeah.
Um but yeah, I knew exactly what you were talking about because we used to go in those and travel all the time.
So fun.
It is. It is. I think we had one of the best childhoods
Oh
because
my God, yeah.
literally we would go out in the morning, we would come home when it got dark,
Yeah, it was
and
so
we
cool.
were with our friends all day.
Yeah,
So,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Um, so you went into, or, as you got older, was there a time period where you like stopped collecting toys or stopped
Yeah,
getting toys or
I don't remember when remember the buff Star Wars figures? Do you
hmm
remember those? I think they came out in like maybe 94, 95. I was in high school when those came out and I don't know how many. I think I might have got like 11 or 12 of them. And I remember sitting on the stairs in my living room and I don't know if it must have been a Friday night or something and there was like a movie or something playing and I was sitting on the stairs and I kind of like set up this little kind of cantina scene and I was looking at them and I was like, dang, I want to enjoy this, but I don't enjoy it. I remember being so bummed out because I was like, dang, like I felt like my imagination was like something was off.
right.
And so I was like, maybe I'm growing up and I shouldn't be playing with toys and everything. And there was like a 2 year period where like I wasn't playing with toys and I was still interested in comics. And I went to a local comic shop and I saw these really amazing figures that like just like something I had never seen before. And I was like, what the hell is this? And they were total chaos toys. They're like that the Four Horsemen had sculpted. And I said to myself, I was like, I don't care if I'm a nerd. I don't care if this is nerdy. I need these figures. And like I got a couple of them. One of them was Corn Boy for sure. And one of them was like this red rock monster. And I was just like, holy crap, this is so cool. And then the next thing I know, they showed like Spawn toys were like getting really popular. And I think the last thing that like just like totally set me off as far as like toy journey goes was the 1999 Metal Gear figures came out. And I was playing the game at the time and I was like, this is art. Like this is hitting on all the check boxes that I'm interested in. It's visually appealing. I was painting a lot of them at the time too. It's got articulation, which is like an engineering thing that I'm interested in. I was in graphic design, so like the packaging was cool. And I think that's when the bug really bit me that I was like in the back of my head thinking it would be amazing to make toys at some point or work in toys or even in the creative pipeline of doing toys. So,
Right.
and that was, like I said, 99.
Yeah. So when you, like, were you drawing? Were you like
Yeah. So
actively
I was
drawing and doing
drawing
all
the
that
whole
stuff
time. I was
as a
drawing the
kid?
whole time as a kid, just drawing. And whenever our barn burnt down, like there was like a ton of like artwork and stuff that I had. Like I found one drawing. It was like I think it was from 1992, and it was like an anthropomorphic alligator. And I was like, shoot, this has been in my head for a while. Um, but then when I was in college, I was majoring in psychology and my band was getting more popular. We were doing showcasing for record labels. Um, and so like I was leaving a lot, and by the end of the first semester, I was like, there's a lot of drawings in here. And I told my parents, I was like, I think I just want to do art. And my dad was like, I don't care if you get your degree in basket weaving, just get your degree. And so it kind of led me more into like drawing and graphic design as far as like my college education
Yeah.
went. But I was always interested in toys. I think we did a toy catalog. So like I had a bunch of like the Four Horsemen 2000X Masters of the Universe figures featured in the catalog. What comics was I into? So when I was growing up, I was into stuff like Daredevil, Ninja Turtles, a little bit of Iron Man, a little bit of Batman. And then, of course, whenever the first Spawn came out, that was like revolutionary to us. Like, I didn't have anything really dark like Watchmen or anything like that was more violent. So, like, getting the first Spawn comic, I was like, whoa, what is this? And then I got X Force, and X-Men was probably really big for me at the time as well, but not as big as stuff like Spawn. And I'm trying to remember what some of the other Image comics at the time were. I guess maybe like Youngblood, stuff like that. But now I like stuff like Saga. I love Hellboy. Um, there's a comic that wrapped up a couple of years ago called Chew that I really like. Um, Another one called Black Science. So it's a lot of, it's not necessarily, I'm not necessarily interested in superhero comics. I like uh, more story based stuff that's like a character development stuff. Not that superheroes don't have that, but it tends to like not necessarily be the focus.
Yeah. Kevin really got into like Jim Shooter, um, Valiant comics and Defiant and
Yeah, I think those are imprints of DC, but I'm not sure. I think Valiant's DC imprint. So like the creators that are drawing like Batman and Superman and stuff are able to like do their own IP through Valiant. I could be totally wrong, but yeah,
um,
dude, Trevor mentioned Saga as the shiznit. It very
yeah.
much feels like, especially the first trade paperback, feels like you're reading slash watching a TV series, a really well done TV series.
That's awesome. Um, so when so you went to college, got your degree in like
I got it
digital
with
art.
Yeah, so I got a degree in fine arts with a concentration in graphic design. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
So after college, what was next? What did you do?
So like during college I was like, I don't feel like I can get a job doing this. So like out of college, I got a job doing oil and gas mapping for essentially Landman. So like if you've seen the TV series Landman, there's a little bit of like actual land work peppered into the craziness.
Right.
Like they really nailed, like they did their research. But like when they showed maps and stuff, there was an episode that I watched a couple of episodes back where they were showing maps, and it's so funny because like for years I can remember like closing my eyes and like seeing certain maps, and I was like, oh god, this is a nightmare because it's so complex. Or just, I mean, this is like 20 years expired, so I can say it, but like I remember we started a project and the standard lease per acre was like 250, and by the end of that project I like hearing my boss yelling on the phone saying like, I don't care if you have to pay 10,000 an acre, I want those last couple of acres, just to give you an idea of like how big the stakes were for it.
Right. So mapping, and then like how long was the comic Animal Warriors of the Kingdom? How long before like
So
the actual comic started developing
yeah,
and you started doing like really focusing on that?
so fast forward a couple of years, I was actually doing graphic design stuff at that point at the other job that I was working on. And so I was like kind of scratching the creative itch that I had. But I remember watching cartoons Saturday morning and just being like, I feel like if I don't like tell a story, I'm gonna just jump out of my hair, out of my skin.
Right.
Um, and it wasn't something expensive. I could just get some paper and draw and then color it in Photoshop. And so in 2011, I started working on the story and the comic and everything. And that was my first Kickstarter, was in 2011, I believe. And I remember being so nervous, like trying to talk on the camera, missing all the amazing chat questions. Sorry, We'll go back. We'll look. And so I did the first issue. Uh, uh,
When did Jason decide to get canines addicted to
you know
nicotine?
what?
Come on, Curtis.
I'll say that in a second.
Yeah. Let's
So
get
I
to
did the
AWOC
first comic.
first.
I did the first comic, and then I was like, "Well, crap! I did one. Let me just see if I can tell a whole story." And I finished that and did the first trade paperback, and then I did a. Adam's asking about an axolotl,
Well, I
and then
know.
I did a Kickstarter for statues of the figures of the two main characters. And then I thought, well, let me try to actually do action figures. At the time, my little girl had these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2012 that would pop apart. It might not have been 2012, but it was in that area, in that time
Right.
span. And I thought, okay, we could do this with those statues, and it like just kept evolving to pretty much be like at the time a modern version of like the 3 3/4 inch GI Joe figures,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
boss fight stuff, like very similar to that. And so I did the Kickstarter for that, and it failed. And I was bummed out for about 3 weeks, but then I realized I was like, I mean, the worst that happened. It failed, and now I learned a whole bunch of stuff, and I just have to kind of go back to the drawing board and address, what people liked about it and what they didn't like, and then also learn how to advertise. I feel like
Right.
that's a mistake that a lot of Kickstarters do is they don't advertise correctly or enough.
Yeah.
So the second try, we got the funding for it. We produced the 3 3/4 inch figures, and then I tried to follow up that with deluxe figures in the same scale. And my the project manager at the time kind of like ran off with he just like abandoned everything. So then my current project manager, Dave Proctor, rescued me, came in, found everything, and got those deluxe figures done. Um, and I was really looking into doing Toy Fair and other toy conventions, and I got a call from the Toy Fair people. They were saying like, "Hey, listen, this thing called COVID is causing everything to shut down. So like, we're still having it right now, but like all the vendors are like canceling, and we're essentially shutting it down, but we can't say we're shutting it down." And I was like, okay, well, this sucks. But all of a sudden I had some extra money that I had invested into Toy Fair. And at the time, 6 inch figures were becoming more and more popular. And I think the Four Horsemen had done their first Kickstarter for the Mythic Legions, but at that time gets all mixed up. I can't remember now. No, they did it in 2015, right?
They
Is
did
that
it in
what it was? Anyway,
2015.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they were gaining more and more popular. It might have been around the second Kickstarter, but long story short, I got really interested in the 6 inch scale, and I reached out to Arlen and I was like, "What do you think about doing these in the 6 inch scale?" And he was like, "Say no more. I want to do it." And then the real lockdown happened, and I was watching Tiger King and playing on Instagram, and I saw this guy's artwork, and I was like, "Man, this guy's got really cool stuff." And so I reached out to him, and that was Utama. So we started working on the story and kind of like redesigning the characters that I had. And Arlen started sculpting essentially the 6 characters that I wanted to offer. And so this was like a 6 month prep to launch this 6 inch scale Kickstarter. We were like, 3D. I was 3D printing stuff at night and painting and stuff. And I was friends with great photographers that like took photos and did a great video and everything. And I remember still being at work and like launching it and being like, oh, let me start this day and see how it's going. And kind of just poking in and checking the Kickstarter. I was like, holy crap, it's like been open for an hour and we got $10,000. And so like by the end of the first day, I knew like we were hitting something special. And we made gold by the end of the first week. And so the rest of the campaign was essentially us like at night thinking like, okay, what other ideas did we have? Like, what other rewards can we offer? And it was like painting stuff, printing, painting, and then taking like photos. And it was such a fun, exciting experience. I remember the last day I thought I have to take a nap. And I woke up and we wound up unlocking every single Kickstarter goal that we had, or the stretch goal that we had tried or offered. And the last one was the big gorilla. And I remember after the Kickstarter ended, I was just kind of like pinching my arm in the kitchen by myself. I was like, is this real? Did this really happen? You know, and like the next couple of days, I was like, this is real, right? This really did happen. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a wild experience. And then the real work began, of course, of like getting the line produced. So,
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's a whole
yeah, it's
mess
so
in itself
funny.
trying to, yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen the meme. It's like this little wolf with like an arrow in its back, and it's like, oh, all beat up, oh my god, I got this arrow in my back, and like the big wolf's like looking over him with like 10 arrows in its back,
Right.
and the idea is that's like everything seems like such a challenge until you go through it, uh, and so like you go through the gauntlet of the Kickstarter, and then you have to actually put everything into motion and get it produced, and there's so many little details and odds and ends that you don't think about during the Kickstarter that you have to like make sure everything's just right. And uh, it's fun. I mean, it's very exciting and rewarding, but it's also stressful, of course, because you want to
Right.
put out the best product possible for your fans and yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah. Well, this is what everybody is here for. They want to hear
Yeah,
all about it.
Adam's
Um,
asking about an axolotl figure. I want to do one. We're gonna do one. So it's his idea. He can name the figure and pick out the armor or whatever.
all right, Adam, there you go. You can name the figure and pick out the armor. Come on.
That's Adam's our logistics guy.
Right. Yeah. I met him at several shows. So I is the first time that I remember seeing, and let me preface this by saying just a little background on me.
Yeah.
I've never collected anything.
Oh.
I've never been into toys.
Yeah.
I've never done like I knew nothing. Like I
Yeah.
came into this knowing nothing. Kevin got a Kevin, was it Tibius maybe,
Oh,
or
Tiberius. Yeah.
um he which one did he get? Vitus. Oh, Vetus. He got the Vetus. And
Oh,
that was
cool.
the first like figure that I looked at and played with and went, "Oh, this is really neat," cuz
Yeah.
I really like knights and all
Right.
of that. I mean,
Of course. Yeah.
that time period is something that I love.
Yeah.
So
It's so cool.
then after I saw the Vetus and had it in hand, Kevin showed me a photo of Artemis riding a moose.
Oh yeah.
And at that point I was like, I am in. Get that for me.
I
And
need it.
he's like, "What? You don't like?" I was like, "No, I need that." So she
That's
still sits up there. Anyway,
awesome.
so Artemis and the moose I had to have. Um, and then the first time we went to Legion's Con was in 2022.
Yeah, that was my first one too.
And Kevin said on the way up there, he's like, "Let's go to this con," because I'd been Comic Cons, Toy
Yeah.
Cons, all the things, and I just followed behind him, and
Yeah.
he would look, and I'd just stand there, and he'd look,
Yeah.
and I'd just stand there, and then he'd buy something, and I'd hold it, and he'd go look, and I'd be, following behind him. But I was never like, "Oh, let me look at this," or "Let me look at,"
Right.
never.
Yeah.
And then we went to Legion's Con in 2022,
Right.
and I fell in love with the community.
Oh my
And that
God.
was the
Yeah.
first time that I
Yeah.
remember seeing AWOC
Oh, cool.
was there
Nice.
at Legion's Con in
Yes.
2022. Um,
Yes.
and seeing the figures and seeing the comic that was relatable. And I was like, "Oh, that's a cool idea." And being able to actually look at it.
Cool. That's
So
awesome.
understand, I don't have any affiliation with Masters of the Universe.
Right.
I have never seen the show.
Oh, okay.
I
Wow.
don't,
Wow.
like
Okay.
I know nothing. Like
Okay.
when it comes to that kind of stuff, that was not my
Yeah.
jam. I did not
Yeah.
do that. So
Yeah.
just know when I come at this now, it's in stuff that I have learned since I've gotten into legions.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That's cool. I did not know that. That's so cool.
Yeah. So I know nothing. So you talking about all of this stuff is very
Yeah.
interesting to me because like I really did not understand how it all worked and how you
Yeah.
could go from creating a comic book and putting that comic book out and then
Right.
taking those characters and creating figures and
Right.
all of the stuff and putting it together. So like you doing your own comic book, did you go to comic book conventions and stuff? Did you
I
promote
didn't.
your comic book that way?
mm,
How
The
what
first
was
comic, yeah, the first comic convention I ever did was Wizard World in New Orleans, and I had already done 3 comics. Um, so what I did was I thought I want to tell the story. I want to tell this story, and I don't know what kind of style of art I want to do. And I remember just going to my local comic shop and looking through the aisles of comics, and I didn't realize it, but like Mike Mignola's style really spoke to me, which is Hellboy. And then he does other stuff, but that's obviously what he's known for is Hellboy. And so I picked up a couple of different Hellboy comics and some other stuff like that Mike had done. And I really loved the art style, and I also loved his the way he paneled out the comics. It felt very cinematic. Uh, and so that was like my cookbook. Like, and then I had 2 local friends who were comic artists, and one of them was Rob Guillory, who had Chew and Farmhand, and then the other one was Cody Chamberlain, who did Sweets, and then 30 Days of Night, and Halo, stuff like that. Um, and so they were very kind and mentory. Where it's funny because like you're asking people who you're friends with for advice, and it's like uh, you don't want to like be a nuisance, but like they were more than happy to give me advice. And I think the best thing about that experience was that they gave me honest opinions on what I needed to work on and what they did like. So it was a mix of positive and what's the word where you could treat
constructive?
yeah, constructive criticism.
Constructive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something that I really appreciated and took to heart. So
That's really cool that you had somebody that you could turn to that was able to answer your questions and
yeah, for
you
sure.
out. Yeah. I mean, that
Yeah.
means a lot. Um Now I saw something I think maybe today, maybe yesterday, I don't know. You posted something about 11 years ago doing my first custom.
Oh yeah, yeah. That
Tell
was
me something about like what were you doing and what made you want to customize and kind of all of that cuz that, as you know, I customize a lot now. So
yeah.
like what was your inspiration to do that?
So I'm trying to think of the movie. I'll think of the movie, but I remember basically asking for an airbrush for my birthday, 2 months before my birthday. So I kept watching this tutorial of this guy airbrushing a Han Solo bust, and I was like, there's got to be more to it than that. That seems so formulaic and straightforward. Uh, and I would just watch it like once a day for like 2 months. And I was like, okay, I don't have a bust. I've got like some Iron Man and some GI Joes and stuff. And the gentleman that was doing the tutorial was using masking tape and like taking his time and like using an X-Acto knife and everything. And I was just like, I don't have the patience for that. So I just used silly putty to mask stuff off. So if you looked at those photos, the masking was just silly putty. And I went ahead and just followed the steps, and I was like, holy crap, it's just like a formula. It's like baking a cake. You just follow these recipes and like it, uh, and I fell in love with the process because it was so gratifying. I was like, man, this is so relaxing and fun. Um, and then I after I did that, then I realized, okay, I actually have to like hand paint stuff And so then again, I looked on YouTube and kind of researched on like how to paint and stuff because my background was like pencil and ink and a little bit of pastel and charcoal and stuff like that. So it was a very new medium as far as that goes. I mean, I did paint stuff a little bit, like I was mentioning. I painted the Metal Gear figures, in the early 2000s, but it had been more than a decade at that point
Right.
since I was actually messing with that stuff. But yeah,
So,
that was the introduction.
yeah. So when it came to printing and then painting your own figures,
Right.
like how did what you learned relate to what you eventually did for your own figures?
So by the time I got a 3D printer, Arlen Pelche and I were already friends. And I don't know who if y'all know about Arlen, but he does a ton of work for Hasbro. Like you probably have one of his toys. Like I'd be very surprised if you have anything from Hasbro. The chances of you having something that he's worked on is like probably 80%.
Right.
But he told me what kind of printer to start off with, which we do resin printers. There's different types of printers. We use resin because of like how good the detail is.
Right.
Function wise, it's not great. Uh, but anyway, he told me what kind of printer to get. And I remember my the first thing I 3D printed was one of the figureheads that he had sculpted. And whenever you're talking about your craft, sometimes you forget steps. And I've done it myself. And I remember, 3D printing the thing. It took like 3 hours at the time. And so whenever you 3D print something, you print it and then you clean it off and then you cook it or cure it with a UV light. And he forgot to mention about cleaning off the print. So like I was like, I don't know, like I just took it and put it in front of the UV thing and it cured. It makes it like it's photosensitive or UV sensitive. So when it comes off the plate, it's firm to an extent, but it's not rock hard.
Right.
And I cured it for like 15 minutes and then I didn't look at it. It's like, I can't wait to see how it came out. It's kind of like opening and like looking at a quiche when it's done. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Uh, but I didn't wash it off. So there was all this excess resin on it. And it essentially looked like a melted Easter bunny. I was like, what the hell is that? This doesn't look right. And I showed it to him and he's like, did you rinse it off? You got to rinse off all the detail. And I was like, no, but that's a good idea. And then the next one, another 3 hours later, I rinsed it off and I looked at it and I was like, holy crap, I can make toys. Like this is so cool. And
Yeah.
I didn't understand the complexity of like the plastic tolerances at that point. But I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is real. This is a tangible type of thing. And like it was the first step of like, okay, we can do the toys and I can do a lot of the heavy lifting on my own.
Right. And then
What's up,
tra-
Terrence?
transferring your ideas to
Mhm.
somebody else to sculpt,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yes.
getting those, printing them off, and then using again your ideas and your characters to
Right.
paint that
Yes.
stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, how does it feel to for the first time see your character on as a 3D printable action figure,
There's different
as
stages to it,
opposed to
but
in the book?
yeah, I remember because there's different stages of it, and I'm like so hyper focused on it. Like whenever I'm drawing, it's like the paper is like super close to my face. Uh, I didn't really see it as a whole until I literally printed it, and I remember being like, "This is actually really kind of cool. Like I'm happy with it." A lot of times, especially for artists, like you've got this picture in your head, and then it's on paper, and you're like, "That is not what I envisioned." And it was
Right.
close enough to what was in my head to where I was satisfied, which was great. It's like it's a risk. And then when it started transitioning into the 3D world, um, Arlen and Dan Mitchell and we had become friends first. And like we're talking about ideas and stuff. And whenever we actually started working together, we all kind of made the agreement to just kind of like check our ego at the door and just try to make it as best as we could.
Right.
Um, And so like they all understood my design language. And sometimes I wouldn't completely do a 3D or a turnaround, like a front, side, and then three-quarter back. I wouldn't do all of that work. And because they knew me, they were able to like kind of like connect the dots and make it into something that I would have done if I had like done the work, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, but all that being said, I remember just like going 100 miles an hour, especially to get the first 6-inch scale wave in. And we got them in sometime in 2023. I don't remember exactly when. It seems like it's been so long, but like we didn't actually get toys until 2023.
Right.
But I didn't really take it in until my little girl was outgrowing toys, and like I had some of them on her nightstand, and she was like, "Can you get some of your toys out of here?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And I was just kind of cleaning them up, and of course, I don't have any of my. Well, I have one toy here, but this wasn't it. It was, I picked it up and I was like, it was just quiet. I was just cleaning up, and I was like, "Holy crap, I did that! Like, I made a freaking toy line. This is so crazy." And it was just like a little kind of quiet moment to where I could be like, I wasn't patting myself on the back. I was just kind of, it was more of like a holy crap. That's so cool. And I just thought like, no matter what, no one can ever take away that like I had an idea and I brought it to fruition and people are interested in it and I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Now, I can't imagine like seeing something in your head,
Yeah.
putting it down on paper,
Right.
getting it sculpted, printed, and painted the way you see it in your head. I mean, it
Yeah.
has to be like, I mean,
It's so cool and surreal. And
right,
this is very much a marathon. So like I remember early on telling myself to make it a point to enjoy every step of the way, like the little milestones. And like you said, like seeing a gray render of like an accessory and you're like, oh, cool. That's so cool. I can't wait to see it. The figure holding so like,
right.
uh, yeah, just all those little milestones are very enjoyable. And my dad
Seeing
told me
your
this story.
box art for the first time,
What's that?
seeing your box art for the first time when you
Yeah,
were getting, I mean,
it's interesting because like I did all the box art and I didn't do the line art. Utoma did the line art, but like I did all the design and put everything together in Illustrator, and that's a flat thing. It's like when you look at it, it's all flat. So seeing it in a 3D box, you're like, oh, good, okay, that worked, type of thing. Like okay, I knew this was gonna work in theory, but I've done it for other people,
yeah,
but when you're doing it for yourself, it's the stakes seem very high.
right.
You're like, okay, this is my thing. There's no art director, it's me doing it. I'm picking everything and making all the decisions. So uh, it was something that like put just a little extra pressure on me. Like I tell like clients whenever I do design stuff, I'm like, listen, as long as you're not asking me to make like an error, like a print error or something that's just a design error, my job is to just bring your vision to life. So that's a very like there's no skin in it for me otherwise, other than making it look what they want.
Right. Yeah. No, I get
Yeah, it's a
that.
very cathartic experience. It's uh I really enjoy painting the faces. Uh of all of my characters, and the only thing that I think all of us can relate to is like painting the eyeballs. I tend to like really almost zone out, and I'll like hold my breath when I'm painting the eyes. And I know if I mess up, I can just put some white on it and try again. And I've done it a ton of times. So whenever I do mess it up, I'm like, this is a good time to take a break and get a snack or something. So it's all just kind of part of the process. Yeah, yeah.
So on Saturday mornings, we this channel we do Mod Squad Art Studio,
Oh,
and
cool.
we're all painting like online. You can watch
Yeah.
us our hands while we're painting and
Oh,
stuff.
fun. That's
And
cool.
we're all talking and just shooting
Right.
shoot, and, just
Yeah.
nothing major, just talking. Somebody has questions, we answer those, but we're
Yeah.
just painting, talking, hanging out,
Yeah.
and we can always tell when somebody's doing some detail work because they get
They
really
get quiet.
quiet
Yeah.
because they're trying to do that detail work, and
Yeah.
so somebody will say, "Is Tanya doing eyes?" or you know,
You
"Is
know,
so and
it's
so
so
doing
funny.
this?" Because it's funny because you really do because you kind of
There was a
focus and
there was a podcast that I watched. So like while I'm working, I found this out when I started writing. I couldn't listen to music with lyrics, so I would listen to soundtracks, which is great for creative stuff. But when I'm just doing like painting and stuff like that, I don't consider it a creative. It's just like a fun, relaxing type of thing. Um, but there's parts where like you have to like really dial in and concentrate and execute and not screw up the work that you've been building on. Um, and there was a podcast where this guy wrote this book about concentration, and he said that everyone that he knows that's able to like really really dial in and just push everything out before they execute, they have like a word that they say. And I wasn't aware of it until he said it, but like whenever I'm about to do eyeballs or something like pinstriping stuff, I hold my breath, and either out loud or in my head I always say, here we go. And that's like the catalyst to like really dial in, and like everything, the sound gets quiet, like everything gets quiet, and I like really zone in. And so like hearing him say like people that can really really concentrate have some sort of keyword to like kind of go into that zone, I thought was interesting. I thought, okay, I'm not the only crazy obsessive person doing this, you know.
yeah, I'll have to think about that because so and I'm just gonna hold it up because I was working on it
Yeah,
this
look at
past
that. That's
Wednesday.
awesome. Cool.
Um,
That's awesome.
so but that's one of the things that but you get into those details and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, you know, and you focus and I'll have to think about that from now on to
Let's
see
start.
if there's something that in my mind I
Yeah.
say when I
You
start to
think
do
about it.
that
You might
because
you
yeah,
might be saying something like okay or here we go
yeah,
or all right, or there's some sort of little thing
something,
where you're like you're gonna even if it's in your head, you're looking at it and you're like, okay, this is it or whatever. But it's funny because I was looking at the pinstripes on yours,
yeah,
and depending on what it is, like white on black, uh, like if I was doing that, I would paint the white, and like I would get like one half of it like super dialed in and really nice and crisp, and then I'd start to get tired and annoyed, like I just want to get this done, like I want to stop for a second. And so I'd flip it upside down and start like getting kind of a little sloppy
yeah,
because I know I can just go over it with the black
black.
and really kind of crisp it up.
Well, Curtis and I always laugh because he joins us on Saturday mornings as
Yeah,
well. And we always laugh because I tell him I'm not good. I'm just tenacious because I will keep going. You know,
that's
I
it.
will do something, it has 15 mistakes. I will go back and redo it, and it
I
has
make
eight
mistakes all the
mistakes.
time.
And we're
Yeah,
going to go back and redo it. And then
that's
I've
it.
got four mistakes. And then I'm going to go back and do it again. It's going to have
Yep.
about two mistakes. And then when I
Yeah.
get down to one, I'm thinking, can I live with that? Yeah, probably.
You know what? I grew up with ADHD and being dyslexic, so, like,
Yeah.
just outworking the other person was, like
Right.
is very, like it's so funny, like, the Bane saying where he's like, "You just adopted this, I was born of this," and I was so struggling and, like, just having to redo stuff over and over again. It just kinda comes with the territory,
Yeah.
and, I remember after the first Kickstarter, we unlocked the gorilla, but we didn't have like a physical painted model or anything. And it was such a big figure for me that I was legit having trouble figuring out how to print the parts. And like or the two arms, I remember was like a 9-hour print, and I'd put it to print when I was going to bed and I'd wake up in the morning and I was like, damn, that didn't print. So it was so there would be days where it's like 3 times where it's like 9 hours did not work. And recently, like maybe I don't want to say what it is, like Adam's gonna kill me if I accidentally say what it was, but I was printing something, and I've done this a lot by this point, and the print just kept failing, and I was just like, why is this not working? I've printed this thing multiple times and it's still not working. And I was talking to Arlen about it, and he was like, well, you're using a different kind of resin. Did you change the resin profile? And I was like, no. So like I did that and then it worked. And I was like, okay, so it's just one of
Right.
those. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Trying to figure it out and dial it down and okay, what do we got? What are we,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Um but yeah, seeing your and I know you said that you painted things when you were a kid, but
Right.
seeing that what you were talking about, your first
Right.
custom,
Yeah.
um, when we were getting ready to come on the show, I was like, "Oh, that is so cool!"
I wish I had a. What's funny is I didn't have the finished product of it. I wish I had the finished product, a photo of it.
Right?
And I have no idea where that thing's at now. Like I have an idea where it is, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
So
Yeah. No, that's fine. But it was really it's neat to see the process, to see kind
yeah,
of where you came from. And now you're painting your own line, your own toys.
yeah. I
So,
mean, I love creating new characters and everything, and I'm working on something or three things now. It's funny because I had an idea. And I've mentioned a couple times that I like to think in my head about what the color combinations I want to do.
yeah.
And there was one idea that I had that like I did the whole thing and I was like, that does not look good. And but there was a couple of parts that did. So I was like, let me take those parts out and like mix and match stuff. And I've been working on that for like a week now. And like it's finally coming to fruition. I'm like, okay, good. This is good. Some of it comes so easily, and then sometimes I like to think of it like songwriters, and like you'll hear these bands say how like one of their hits just came together in like 20 minutes, and then one of their other hits took like 3 days to write. And I find it's very similar to that, where like sometimes your muse just talks to you, and then other times you have to really work for it and curse a little bit and go walk around and play with the dog and be like, all right, or you sleep on it. Sometimes you just sleep on it and it kind of comes to you.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
thank you very much. I appreciate that. You
yeah.
mentioned that the colors is very
Yeah.
cohesive.
Yeah, we have several of your figures, of course, because
Oh,
again, my husband, big collector, and collects a lot of different lines. So we have several of yours, and I cannot wait to get your bulldog. Like
yeah, yeah.
I
It's
am
funny.
on pins and needles waiting on that.
We're gonna put out a Kickstarter update soon, like
Yeah.
very soon. But
All right.
I think Dave showed pictures like test shots, not test shots, like a material test of him like posed, like not the final painted stuff,
Right.
but like he did the one with the cigar in his mouth, and I was like, that's the head that I'm gonna put on it. I am not
Yeah.
gonna have the other head. Like this is too fun.
Yeah.
Uh, so
I have heard
it's
so many people say the exact same thing.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
glad you're giving us both heads, but the
yeah.
other one is not even going to go on the
Right. It's not a
figure.
contest. It's almost
Yeah.
like it's like we have to have this one in here, but uh it's funny because we discuss stuff in our little private chats and stuff, and someone was mentioning like, are you sure it's okay for us to have him like smoking something? And then Adam said, you realize that he's got like a big giant knife and two different guns, right? Like I think we'll be okay. And I was like, that's a good point. That's a good point. Let's give the man dog his cigar. So
Oh, um, we have a super chat from Rob Zamora. Rob said, "Can
what
you 3D print me a boon?"
we'll have to figure it out. I don't think it'll be as exciting as you think it will be, because I usually print stuff in clear resin, so I don't know how interesting it would look.
Yeah,
We'll run it by Adam. Let's see.
run it by Adams. Thank you, Rob, for the super chat. I truly
Yes, thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, Kevin just he got a Nick Fury, the latest Nick Fury, and it has the hole but not the cigar, so he
Oh, really?
painted
They
a
didn't put the
cigar.
cigar.
Yeah.
Adam said no. So funny.
Oh,
I'll
that's
tell
funny.
everyone yes, and Adam tells everyone is
No.
realistic.
Yeah, this is not
Um,
gonna happen.
Yeah, it's funny because we talked about like should the cigar be separate, and we were like, it's gonna get lost. Like just put it, just attach it. You know.
So you have on your website you have series 1, but you have it in five
It's
or
broken
six
up into
waves.
4 waves. Yeah, no,
Okay.
you're right. It's broken up into 5 waves. So we did the void and this guy who is we've got variants of pale. So and then there's an army builder in that wave. But that is going to ship with the brawler figures. So see, it's not it won't even be on there right now because it's like an awkward like because we wanted it to be even numbers. That's my OCD.
Oh, it's got to be even numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you'd look, there'd be like an awkward like just another square sitting down there. So like whenever the other thing comes in, we'll have more squares. More squares. I
Right.
need more squares. So he won't be
Um,
able to find it on there.
well, but they can go in, like right now, you can go to your website and order any one of these 4 waves or the
Right.
accessory packs, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Um, and
Y'all should do it.
then
Do it now. Do it now. Come on.
yeah,
Order the toys.
if you don't have these, you need to have several of these in your in your collection because they somebody said it up in the comments and I don't remember where it is, but they said the joints are butter soft. Just
Yeah,
butter,
we're very
just
proud
really
of
good
yeah.
as far as the articulation and stuff. So but yeah, they said that. And then when I went onto the Kickstarter page, um I was showing that you this is the series 2. So are you going to do
Right.
this in several waves the same
Yeah,
way
it's
that
going
you
to be
did?
in waves.
Okay.
So if you look at the lion, so that fig those are going to
There.
be right before Legion's Con. The lizards are going to be, I mean, obviously fingers crossed, will be right before Legion's Con. The lion figure next to the big gorilla, that is the next wave of figures that is in production right now. Like we're really close. They're gonna wrap it up shortly after Chinese New Year. They're basically just kind of doing all their due diligence on it.
Right.
We're hoping to have color samples before they leave for Chinese New Year. But we're going to be getting 5 of those big brawler figures and then 3 standard figures in our next shipment. So we're thinking sometime in April is when we'll get that stuff.
Okay. Um Now going through these, like you actually like had a good group of figures that were funded. You did have a couple on the end that did not get funded.
Right.
Is that
Correct.
correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like so if you look at the rhino figure, we had like a rhino and a hippo. Those didn't get funded. So um that figure did. That's in production right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that figure got funded at the last second. We went ahead, even though we didn't make that in the Kickstarter, we went ahead and just sculpted the figure. It'll be the
Okay.
last figure that we do of this series.
Gotcha.
Um, I like
And then
I clanked my tooth just now, and it like totally made me lose my train of thought. Uh,
so this figure did make it into the Kickstarter, and
that
then
did, yeah.
the elephant did not.
No, that one did. Yeah,
Oh,
that one's
okay.
the last figure that we're gonna produce of from the Kickstarter stuff. This guy did not. And then we did
Okay.
a hippo that didn't either. So we
Gotcha.
do plan on producing those figures, but it's just not going to be part of the Kickstarter or
I gotcha.
part of a Kickstarter.
Right.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
haven't sculpted those or anything yet. But what we would ideally like to do is offer them with the elephant wave, but it's a little far out to predict that. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to offer them yet.
Yeah, these are so fantastic. Like,
Oh, thank you. And the weapons, I got into Mythic Legions a little late, so I really kind of jumped on with Cosmic Legions. So a
right.
lot of the weapons are, obviously they're specifically for AWOC, but like there's a lot of weapons that I personally plan to use with my cosmic stuff. Like that stuff right there that you just showed, those weapons that you just showed, that would
Yeah.
be great for like elves and stuff like that, and like
Right. Yeah.
assassins, you know.
Oh yeah.
But like they're like the guns and stuff I plan on using with like cosmic legions. So yeah.
Um. Yeah. These are. I mean, I think these are fantastic.
Oh,
Like,
thank you. You know, I mean, these are supposed to be like just, you know, fun figures. They're very like Marvel Legends and GI Joe Classified adjacent.
right.
Um, where like they're the very similar articulation. They're essentially GI Joe Classified, and I say that because Classified's got more articulation than the Marvel Legends stuff for the most part. I will say that like we don't have drop hips. There's just really no need for it.
Right.
Uh, we could have done them, but just we chose that we were like we don't necessarily need it. The same thing with the calf cuts. We could have done that, but uh, I wasn't comfortable with the leg greaves. You know, I felt like they might be too difficult to put on and take off with that calf turning like that. That's the little harness that I was saying that's similar to the elf, like where they kind of hold the blades.
Yep.
So, and I think I put the knives up. They're wrong in that picture. I think like the blade should be facing up.
Gotcha.
This guy, we need to take photos of him. We've got the soft goods for this, you know, I was like, hey, let's do soft goods for this, not realizing how challenging it was going to be. And Eric Harker did the jacket for that. Um, so we need to take product photos of it, but he looks really, really cool. This guy as well. Eric did the skirting for that guy. And like if you look at the final product for him, there's some stuff that like the line art's got that didn't make it to the end product, which you know it makes not everything's going to make it to the final version. It's not going to work as we see it in a 2D way.
Right. Absolutely.
He's
Yeah.
got one of my favorite accessories. That bone whip is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and so I'm excited to finally get to do that stuff.
Yeah. This is a great character. I
Thanks,
love
Darth.
and I do wings. I all of my characters have wings. So for
Yeah,
me, seeing the wings on his arms is a different kind of wing. I'm
you
like,
know
oh, that's
that's
really
one
cool.
thing that yeah we all talked about it. You know, everyone thinks like, oh hey, let's put them on their thing, and I don't know what it was, but I was just really adamant about having their arms be the wings. And Dan did an amazing job of having them to where they could be easily unplugged. And we were designing this at the same time that the Power Ranger Crow figure came out. I don't remember what it's called. Do you know what I'm talking about? Uh, which a figure I really, really liked. And there was a little bit of a pet peeve where you know when you extended it a certain amount there was a gap, and so
Oh
it
yeah.
particularly bugged Dan, and so he sculpted it in a way to where at no point you'll see like a feather gap on the arms. Sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent with that.
No, that's okay. Lewis said Tengu or Tenju or Tengu.
I don't know what that
It's the
means.
name of the character that you were talking about from.
Oh yeah, they're like it's like an army builder. The figure's
Yeah.
really cool. It's surprisingly heavy.
So, but yeah, going through, and so I, so this, so the only two characters that were not unlocked, or that were not, are not being made as part of this Kickstarter, is the
Right.
Rhino
And the hippo,
and the
correct, yeah, and
Hippo.
they're gonna be the same
Okay,
buck. They're just, like, different heads and paint and
right.
armor, so, but that's something I want that freaking rhino, you know? Like, I
Yeah,
personally want that toy,
yeah.
um,
No, I get that.
and it's a bigger figure. It's not quite as big as the elephant, obviously, but it's quite big, and we had the elephant paint master on display at, what was it? Legion's Con last year. So Legion's Con
Right.
24, we had it on display. Uh, Brian asked about paint about we won't have paint masses, but we're hoping to have prototypes at the at ZoloCon. So not
Okay.
prototypes, factory samples, like painted factory samples.
Well, that's cool. That'll be neat.
Fingers
Um,
crossed. We'll see what
yes.
happens.
Fingers crossed. Come
I think
on, let's
they go on
go.
vacation. They go on holiday in 15 days. So we'll see what happens. So,
Yeah.
but
How
they're
much can
fat.
get
We'll
right?
see.
How much can get done and get out and shipped to
Right.
you guys?
Yeah.
Now, when they come back from the Chinese New Year, because they're out for like 2 weeks, right? Is that it? Or a week?
So technically, the holiday is 2 weeks long, but they get a
Okay.
week to travel home and then a week to travel back. Um, so we were told the tentative reopen date is February 28th. Um, we'll see what happens.
Gotcha.
That's ideal. I would like
Right.
that.
And then March they would
They
get
would be in
finished with what
production in
your
March.
production,
Yeah,
yeah, and then
yeah.
hopefully
I'm
get out
thinking
and
it'll
get to you
probably
guys.
take, there's so 3 SKUs are already done, and then they've got 5 more to do. So I'm thinking, probably realistically, it'll probably take like 2 weeks per SKU. I don't know exactly all the ins and outs of it, but I think that's like, a fair estimate.
Right. Um so series 1 you guys got out, series 2 is coming.
Right.
Like, so what's next?
You
Where are
know,
we going next?
I noticed like after Christmas, I was just kind of like I was feeling anxious and I was like, what's going on, dude? And I thought it might have been a little bit of cabin fever, but then I realized I was like, I haven't really like I like to write down like my goals and stuff and so I went with a sticky note and I kind of like planned out 26 and 27 and 28. I just wrote it down and I've done it before, but like I just needed to like see it and
Right.
we've got some other figures and stuff designed, but we don't want to really like show anything off until it's like further into production. But I was kind of telling one of my friends, I feel like I waited too long to start introducing human characters. Like if you read the AWOC comic, there's humans in the first issue. Uh, so like I personally wish I hadn't waited so long to do humans. So we've started working on, human characters and stuff like that. But I don't want to go too far into it until we've got at least a couple of waves of series 2 in fans' hands.
Right.
Pink hair AWOC figures. We've got a
Yeah.
pink hair. That's dang, I can't remember. I can't believe I forgot her name. Dang it, what's her name? It's so funny because like when I'm looking at my files, it's got all the characters' names. Um, and then when I'm looking at the 3D prints, it's just like it's not the character's name, it's just rabbit
Right.
or lion man.
Right.
It's so funny. I've got
Oh,
another name in my head and it's not it, and I'm like, why do you have that name? That's not it. It's crazy. Yeah, what Adam said.
yeah. Humans aren't coming until 2028.
Yeah.
Um so are you guys going to I mean like when you guys get ready are you going to try to do another Kickstarter or are you
I don't think
like
so. Yeah,
okay, so
yeah. I don't know yet. It all depends what feels right.
yeah,
We'll see. Ideally, if we did something like that, it would be more of like a pre-order where we've done most of the legwork, where like the tooling and everything's done, and we need to get essentially like a head count of how many of each SKU we're going to be making.
right.
But yeah, highly articulated. It's got me dialed in. So
Adam keeps you on track.
yeah. I was talking to one of my friends. He's another designer. He's my best friend, and we I don't remember what we were talking about, but he said you're not really known for being patient, and I said patience is for pussies and smart people. That's fair.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's funny. Um So the comic book, is that still an ongoing thing? Are you guys still
Yeah,
making new issues? And
we're on page 3 of issue 8 right now. So even though we're formatting them in single issues, um, it's just not practical to like print singles. So
right,
once we have all 5 issues of the second story arc, we're gonna do a trade paperback, and we'll and what we'll do is we'll offer the first trade paperback and the second one essentially at the same time.
oh, okay, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I know that getting the trade paperback so you can get a good story arc in it, so you
Right,
can
and
read.
we've
Yeah,
sold singles before. We did them through Diamond Distribution, and then we've experimented with selling a couple of them at shows, and they've sold really well. But whatever doesn't sell gets all dinged up, like on the way home, or
right,
because there's like you might have a full packed box that can't bounce around. And then on the way home, you might have like 2 or 3 of an issue, and that's gonna just like bounce around on the way home, and so it tends to get damaged, and then it's really hard to resell that stuff.
right. No, I get that. Um, is there a possibility that you would stray away from AWOC and do something different? Is there anything
Yeah, I
else
mean, I'm
rolling
I'm
around in your
interested.
head?
I'm interested in other stuff. And I was kind of thinking just the other day, like after we wrap up the second story arc, I'd like to play around with other genres. My buddy Brandon and I wrote a an action comedy called Grits, and it was like undercover FBI agents, and we said it was like Redneck Miami Vice, and we did a 40 issue one shot for it. But that's something that like I've got jokes in the story, but like I would like to just lean into something that's a little bit more irreverent and silly and fun. So I'd like to kind of maybe revisit that again. Plus, I like
Oh,
G.I. Joe, so it might be kind of cool to do some army action figures, even though in the book they're not really military figures. They're, I guess, the closest thing I could say they're similar to is if you've watched G.I. Joe, they've got these like hillbilly bad guys called the Dreadnoughts. So I would say that would be kind of closest to that.
right. That would be cool. I mean, that would be an interesting kind of go completely opposite of what
Right.
you're doing
Yeah.
now. I mean, like it
Yeah.
would be two completely separate
Right. Right. It's
things.
funny because people ask me like pop culture questions, and I'm like, I'm vaguely familiar with stuff, but I'm more interested in like history and like geopolitics, which people are either not interested in or they get like very upset very easily. And I'm like,
Right.
I'm just looking at like what's going on. I'm just taking it on at like face value with very little skin in the game. So
Right. Curtis, you're killing me.
a moose holding
No.
maple syrup. Redneck
Yeah.
military would be fun, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Can you make a moose holding maple syrup in one hand and Canadian bacon in the
I
other
didn't
as
think
an
we called
Adam
it
treat?
Canadian bacon anymore. Like it's funny because I like to make like every morning I'll like overcook 2 strips of bacon, like to where it's like really, really crispy, and I'll put it in my eggs. And like the last couple of days I've been too lazy, so I'm just like, we're doing Canadian bacon today. Like that, but it's been like 5 days now of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
William
nice. That's
said,
cool. That's a great first figure.
yeah, pale in a giveaway. That's awesome. Um, yeah, I know that we have pale. I don't know what all the ones that we
It's
have.
which version do you have? Like we've
I
got
think the
three
first,
versions of them out right now. So
I
that's
think we've
one
got
thing
the
is
first
which
one.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
The
Adventure Armor.
first
That's
one.
my
Yeah.
personal favorite.
Right.
Um, it's kind of like the OG He-Man. Like there's other
Right.
versions that I really like. I've got a bunch of toys, but like this is the Masterverse version of them, and it's like a mix between the OG and then the Battle Armor He-Man. Like this is just like a little clamshell that pops off. So, but
Right.
yeah,
Um, Nate Barch said Gladiator Pale for the win.
and you know what? I totally get it. I totally get it. And it's funny because like I don't know why I have an AWOC figure near the. I've got like if y'all could see how many toys. Like usually I try to keep 4 toys, but like after Christmas, like they've just been like slowly creeping up, and like I feel like I have like one figure from every toy line that I love, and like this guy never leaves. He never leaves like the area. He never gets like cycled out because he's on a podium. So like he's not in the way at all. And like the only time he like moves is when the cat decides that this little swingy ball thing is something that should be played with. But otherwise he's always just kind of hanging out right here.
That's funny. So he's got the Hagnon sitting on his desk all
Yeah.
the
I
time.
don't know what OBD He-Man
He-Man
is. What
is,
is
yeah.
that?
I
Old
know.
dirty bastard He-Man? I've got a couple of different map. It's funny because I've got this battle armor Skeletor, but I gave him the cape from the PowerCon Four Horsemen exclusive figure
Oh yeah.
because I didn't want to display. I didn't want to display with that cape, and it's so funny because I got that figure. I had to have that figure, and then whenever I got it, I got food poisoning. Totally forgot. Like at PowerCon, I got food poisoning. Totally forgot about the figure, and then I was cleaning up, and I was like, "Holy crap! I forgot about this awesome figure that I had."
Yeah, the second Legions Con we went to, Kevin ended up getting sick. I ended up rushing him to the hospital on Saturday morning.
That
We
sounds like legit food poisoning.
we missed almost all. I got back and was able to go through the con about 2 o'clock. It closes at like 5 or something. I
Yeah,
got back to go through the con about 2 o'clock. Ran through, got some stuff, and then went up to take care of Kevin. Kevin did not even hit the floor of Legion's
what?
Con that year at
Wow,
all. He was
that's the
so
worst.
sick. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah,
was that
no
was
fun.
no, that was a year
Anyone
that we
that
will
hasn't
never
gotten food
forget. Yeah.
poisoning, like it's kind of like, oh, that sounds bad, and you're like, no, you don't understand. It's like if I was a horse, like just take me out of my misery. Like
Right.
it's horrible.
So you guys actually do quite a few cons.
We do,
What
yeah,
like where will you guys be? I know you said ZoloCon is going to be your first one of 2026. Where
yeah.
else are
And
you guys
then
going to be?
after that, we are doing an East Coast and a West Coast. We're doing at the same time. We're doing Toylanta in Atlanta, obviously, and then WonderCon in Los Angeles. And then after that, I think we're going to be doing, man, was it Joe Fest? And then, darn it, I posted on Instagram. I can't remember. Uh,
Okay.
it's PowerCon's new Masters of the Universe
Oh yeah,
focused.
yeah, yeah. Their new one.
Man, and I
Um.
can't obviously Legion's Con, but I can't remember. There's like stuff in between. Oh, Carver Con. We're doing Carver Con.
Oh, you're coming to
Um,
CarverCon.
yeah,
Awesome. So
man.
we'll see you
It's
at Toylanta. So are
yes.
you going to be here? Who's going to
I'll
be
be
on the
at
West Coast?
I'll be at Toylanta because it's so close to Louisiana.
Right.
Um, I really want to do WonderCon. I think next year I'm gonna have to be like, listen, I want to go to Disneyland, damn it. And so someone else can work at the Toyland. It's a great show too. I love the show. So
Yeah,
that's
Toylanta's a great
I'm
show.
not super excited about hanging out with LA people.
Right. Yeah, no, I get that.
I'm just kidding. Golly, everyone's so serious. It's funny because I'm watching Barry and like they really nailed like how people behave in Los Angeles. I was like, man, they're like at least they're self-aware, you know?
Yeah.
And
I don't think he's
I'm a
posted it up there
goofy
yet,
Cajun,
Kevin.
so I can self-deprecate too.
Oh yeah, Joe
Dude, I'm
Fest is
super
up
excited
there.
about it. I can't wait.
Yeah, we love Toylanta. I can't wait to see you at
Oh,
Toylanta.
it's so funny. Like Adam, I had posted our schedule, and then Adam was like, "Don't post it till Wednesday," and I forgot to post it yesterday. So when I hop off, I will. You know what? I'm gonna post it right now. Doggone it! Hold on a
There you
second.
go.
We can.
And
I
then
can multitask. We'll talk, and I'll post it
yeah,
if I
you
can
can
figure
post
out.
it.
We're gonna post the schedule. Let's see here. The pressure. I can't handle the pressure. No,
Jason, there's no
it's
pressure.
funny.
If you get it posted, you get it posted. If not, it's fine.
Well, it's similar to I don't have a watch on right now, but probably the last three analog watches that I had did not have numbers. It was just like 12, 5 or what, no, 12, 3, 6, and 10. And I would look at it and I would instantaneously know what time it was.
Right.
But if someone else would ask me, like I would get like a brain fart.
Right.
uh,
Oh, what time is
and the
I don't
same thing happened whenever you
yeah.
were asking about the conventions. So
Yeah. Curtis said no Canadians are allowed at MuskeeCon though.
no, I actually want to do MuskyCon as well. We're gonna have to do it next year though. Let's see here. So I'm looking at it. It's ZoloCon, Toylanta, WonderCon, CarverCon, Joe Fest, Moto Fest, Joe Lanta, and Legions Con. But if if Val does a PowerCon, we'll be doing that one as well. I need to touch base with him and ask.
I think the Mo2 Fest or whatever was going to take PowerCon's place
That
this
might be what
year,
it
and
is for
then next year,
26.
yeah, next year they're
Yeah, that
gonna
makes
do the
sense.
PowerCon.
Yeah,
I think
that
is what
makes
it's gonna
sense.
be.
That's probably what it's going to be. Uh, so
Um,
William asked about the comics. We
yeah,
probably won't be offering the singles again. We're just going to go straight to offering the trade paperback. Um, and I had mentioned earlier they get really beat up when we do them, and then our fulfillment company doesn't do floppies. So whenever we have the trade paperback, then we'll be able to offer that on the website, and you won't have to necessarily go to a convention to get the comics.
right.
You could just go to say hi to me.
Yeah, yeah. You just need to say hi to Jason.
Exactly.
Um, that's funny. So Adam said you're going to offer digital issues as well.
We have digital issues right now on the website,
Okay. All
and
right.
those are the singles though.
Right.
The
Um.
second pack.
So
What is
yeah,
that?
this
That sounds
year,
cool.
yeah, this year they're doing a Pacific Northwest Legions meetup event in June. Blake, is it June? Kevin was telling me.
You know,
Um, and so next,
I've never been that to that area. I would absolutely love to go to Oregon. So
yeah,
if
and
it's
that's
in
where
that
it's
area,
yeah, Portland,
yeah,
Oregon. I think Portland, Oregon area.
okay.
But
Not
yeah,
Portland.
that's huh?
I really do want to go to Portland, but I want to experience the wilderness of
Right.
Portland. I want to see a Sasquatch.
So yeah,
It's
June 13th and 14th,
yeah,
up in the Pacific Northwest in Oregon. That's where Blake is from, and so they're doing a meetup up there, and then they're going to make it a weekend event, and they're going to go and see a lot of different things around the area, as well
yeah.
as do legions and stuff. So that's going to be really cool. Um, Blake, Kevin was looking at flights for us because he knows that I want to see. I want to go
Yeah,
out
it's
there
gonna
and
be
see
cool.
it.
You know, hold on for just a second. I feel like I can hear like the stove. I'm worried something's overflowing. Hold on a second.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Just talk amongst yourselves.
yeah. Oh, Blake, I think Jason would like the fact that you're willing to be a tour guide. Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna make it, Blake. Flights are quite expensive, and we gotta see if we can work that into the budget with everything else we're doing. And we got a baby shower that we'll be having around that time as well. So as soon as they set the date for the baby shower and we can see if we can get a good price on a flight, Might have to make that trip out there. I would love, love, love to see the Pacific Northwest. Pros of going to Portland: beautiful scenery, see Blake's collection, and get your cars. Cons is get your car stolen. Oh my goodness, Curtis, you're funny. Oh, yeah, that's an area that Kevin and I have always wanted to go see the big redwoods and all that stuff. So yeah, we
All right. It
definitely.
wasn't overflowing, but I had to take a taste of it.
Oh, okay. Um, Blake said that he will be your tour guide if you come up to the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely love that. My parents lived in San Diego for years, and they would go to San Francisco. My great aunt lived in San Francisco, but I've never got to explore any of that area. And I'm a big Harry and the Hendersons fan, so and I love Frasier.
Yeah,
I also love Days Gone, which takes place in Oregon as well. So, um,
that's awesome.
yeah.
My son is a big Oregon Ducks fan, so we have been
Oh, is
rooting for
that
the Oregon Ducks since he was
what?
knee
What
high
kind of
to a
sport is that?
grasshopper.
Is that
Uh,
baseball or hockey or
Football,
football? Okay.
basketball,
Okay.
but football mainly, yeah. Big Oregon Ducks fan. So, um, all right, we are getting to the end of our time here together, Jason. Couple of last questions for you before we say goodnight to everybody.
Who's your daddy and what does he do? Okay, sorry. Sorry.
That was funny. Um, the first one is Beathier is considered one of five pillars. When they first introduced him, they said that the other four pillars were going to be dragons. But then they have backed off of that and said, we misspoke and we're not saying that they're going to be dragons. They can be a lot of different things for those five pillars. So, knowing that Beathier, one of the largest toy dragons that we've ever seen, is coming as one pillar, do you have any ideas of what would make great pillars for the other four? Like
You
what
know,
things you
one
would
of the
like to
cool
see?
things about being in the toy community, uh, it's a very small circle and you hear stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, so I don't know if I can even comment on this without getting into trouble. um, I'll just say no, I can't say anything. So unfortunately,
Okay.
I can't comment on any of it.
Not what you know, but even
You
if
know
they
what? I would
weren't going to
like,
be dragons, like what would you like to see made? Maybe
you know,
not as big as Beathier, but in the realm of,
I would love to see some sort of like tree int would be really cool, you
yeah,
know? Um, or some sort of stone golem. I know a lot of people don't like the Hobbit trilogy as much as the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but I love that. I love all of it.
right.
Um, but those big like stone golems, even though it
Yeah.
was silly, they looked so cool, and I think it would make a cool figure. So something like that, like maybe some sort of elemental would be really cool, you know?
Now they did say um like Beathier is like the land or the forest or
Right, the
whatever. So
earth,
they're going to
yeah.
have a sky and a
Yeah,
fire and they've
right.
listed the pillars out, but one of
I
them was
wonder
an
I wonder, was the Balrog, was
underground.
that invented by Tolkien? Because something similar to that would be cool as well, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it really
Yeah,
would. So,
yeah.
but yeah, the it would be cool to have other things as the pillars. I think if they
Yeah,
were going to do dragons as all of the pillars, like I would like to see different types of dragons. So instead
yeah,
of just being the one big Beathier, do like
sure.
the long Chinese dragon
Right, yeah, for sure, yeah,
or
yeah.
that kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I would be totally down with that. Yeah, I think that would be really
yeah,
cool. So, and I would love to see their twist on it. I never asked, but I feel like the Mandalore. Wait, is it the what is it called? The Mandarin spawn. I feel like was just like a four horseman design that Todd was like, I like that. Let's do that. You know.
right. Yeah,
So, but that's kind of what comes to mind when we talk about that stuff. You know.
right. Um, all right. Last question, because this is the one we end on every time we have somebody on. Um, what is one thing that you can tell us that you haven't told anybody else?
Hmm. Oh man, I remember you telling me to think about this, and I forgot to think about it. Hmm. Yeah, an interesting question because I've done a lot of podcasts and I can't remember what I've said or what I haven't said.
Right.
But this kind of comes full circle about like the fun of the airbrushing. And whenever I was doing my first airbrushing stuff, not counting the that custom that I did, uh, I was trying to do a custom Kali and a custom pail for a convention that I was doing in where was it? Austin, Texas. And I was almost finished Kali, who at the time had this like red scarf. And and I don't know how interesting this is, but I was almost done with it. And at the time, I had gotten into the bad, or I didn't know, like, you need to put the little cap on the paint thing because, like, if you're tilting, anyway, finishing it up, just painting like the red scarf, and I accidentally dipped too much and like covered the whole thing in red, like 2 days before I was having the convention. And I just remember like looking at the sky and be like, I need to give me a break. I need a break, like I need to get this done, and but it essentially forced me to like see that something that seems totally catastrophic and unfixable can be fixed. And I was just kind of like annoyed for a good hour and a half. And after I kind of had my temper tantrum, I was like, all right, it's just paint. I just followed the steps again, and I was able to come back from it and had a cool figure to kind of show off at the convention. So, but
Oh,
everyone has a tough time, and give yourself permission to be upset and be frustrated. Don't give up. Just have
right.
your moment of frustration, and then get back to work and do your stuff.
Absolutely. And, you know, that's the tenaciousness.
Yeah,
You
I
got
mean, it's just
mad, you got
just
frustrated, but then you
yeah,
just got back to work.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. It's okay to give up for like a couple of hours, but then
Yeah,
get back to it. Yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
That's that. I am
Awesome.
not going to let this beat me,
Exactly. Yes.
or
Exactly.
at least
Yeah.
not today. This is
Right.
not going to beat me
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
I love
Awesome.
that, Jason. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Well, thank
Jason,
you so much
thank
for
you
having me.
so much for
Oh
coming
man, I've been
on
looking forward to it.
and hanging out. This has been the best time. I was hoping that we were going to be able to say, yeah, those figures are on the water. They're
I
going to
know
be here
we
soon.
were so close. Like we talked to the production manager, and I agree. He said it would have been reckless to try to get them done before Chinese New Year.
Right,
Um, and emotionally, I didn't agree, but
right,
practically and
right,
business wise,
right.
I definitely agreed. As it would stink to like be working so hard on this and then fumble right at the yard. What's the thing? The goal line? Yeah. Sorry,
Yes.
I don't sports.
Fumble at the gold line. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So we
Well,
decided to just finish in the Chinese New Year, or you know.
right
Anyway,
after it. Yeah,
yeah.
I know. I get that. And I think that, I think a lot of people don't understand. Yes, it may take a little bit longer. Yes,
Right.
you may be waiting for them for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But would you rather have something that was subpar, or would you rather have
Right.
something that is
Exactly.
done exactly the way that we want it done? So,
There's an amount of discipline that does come with that, and
right.
I'm tempted all the time where I'm like, just go,
Right.
put my helmet on and shoot me out of a cannon, but it's just it's part of the process.
Yeah. Well, we are super excited to have you on, and I personally can't wait to get a lot of several
Yeah,
of the new figures in
yeah.
hand.
I'd love to come on
I'm
again
looking
whenever
for the
they're.
bulldog.
Yeah, well, that's in
Yeah.
production, so I'd love to
Yeah.
come back on once y'all have them in hand.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll have to have you back on again. I would love, love, love that. I think that would be fantastic.
Awesome, cool.
Everybody in the chat, thank you guys for showing up and chatting with us and hanging out with us tonight. It was great having you there. We appreciate it. Yes, Kevin, you did a great job. Thank you for
Good job, Kevin.
pitching. We needed that. My computer won't allow me to share
Proud of
screens.
you.
So he did great.
He
Appreciate
did. He
that,
did a good
baby.
job.
All right. And everybody, I don't know who's going to be here next time, but this Saturday we will have Mod Squad. I am back for Mod Squad this Saturday. So make sure that you join us Saturday morning, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we will be painting and having fun and looking forward to seeing you all there. And if I'm not mistaken, Curtis should be here with us too, and Stacy should as well. All right, everybody. Good night.
Bye. Good night.